Hi, grade 8 and 9, we're going to look at adding and subtracting of fractions. Now let's look at number 1. I'm going to take this problem, which is 3 over 2. We're going to add 3 over 2 plus 1 over 2. So now when adding a fraction, guys, or subtracting a fraction, you look at the denominators. If the denominators are the same, you continue adding them. So here we have both the denominators the same, so it's 2, you take one denominator there, and then you add the numerators. It's going to be 3 plus 1. That will make 4 over 2, which is 4 divided by 2 is 2, right? Let's look at it when we're subtracting. There. Let's take the second example. Let's say we 3 over 2 minus 1 over 2. So there, the denominators are the same. So you take one denominator, and then the numerator, it's 3 minus 1, right? So it's going to be 2 divided by 2, which is 1, right? Let's say now, in a case where the denominators are not the same, right? Denominators are not the same. Let's say in number 3, we have 3 over 2. Let's say we add now with 1 over 4, right? Denominators are not the same, and I'm going to make them the same. How do I make them the same? I'll take the first fraction, which is 3 over 2. I'll take the denominator of the other fraction and multiply by it, right? And plus, and then I take this fraction, 1 over 4, and multiply by the denominator of the first fraction, right? So it's going to be 3 times 4, it's 12, and then 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 over 8, right? Now the denominators are the same, so now I'll take one fraction, and then what do? I'll say 12 plus 2. This is 12 plus 2, right? That's what I've done there. So it's going to be 14 divided by 8, and we check the common number there between the two. The common number there is 2. How many 2's in 14? There are 7. How many 2's are there? There are 4. So the answer is going to be 7 over 4, right? It's going to be 7 over 4. Now let's take another question here, which is now it's 4. Question 4. If we take the same there, but when we subtract, let's subtract now. Same question, but we subtract. It's 3 over 2 minus 1 over 4. Now, the denominators are not the same. We're doing the same method, but now instead of adding, we're subtracting. So I'm writing the first fraction, and then I times it by 4. Where do I get the 4? What do I get the 4? I got the 4 here. So minus 1 over 4, and then we times by what? 2 times by 2. So it's going to be 7 over 8. Sorry. And then it's going to be 2 over 8. And so the denominator the same. You take one denominator, and then what do you do with the numerators? It's going to be 7 minus 2 there. So it's 7 minus 2. So it's going to be 5 over 8. There's no common factor between the two, right? Let's go to number 5. Let's take another one now. Let's take a random number. Let's say it's 1 over 7 plus 1 over 3. Now denominators are not the same. Make sure the denominators are the same. How do you make them the same? I write the first fraction, I take the 3, I multiply by it, multiply by 3, and then plus, and then I take this fraction, I multiply it by 7. I multiply by 7. So this fraction is going to be 3 over 21 plus and 3 over 21, right? So denominators are the same, even the numerators are the same. So we're going to take one fraction, which is 21, and then we added the numerators, so it's going to be 3 plus 3, which is going to be what? 6 over 21. There's no common factor between the two. That's how you add and subtract the fraction. Now let's take the fraction in a case now. That's number 5. Let's take number 6. Let's say we have 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4, right? Okay, let's say 5. Let's say 5 there. Now we have 3 fractions now. In those 3 fractions, what do you need to do? We need to make the denominators the same. What is the number where what is the LCD in those fractions, right? The LCD of those fractions, I can say it's 20, because 5 gets into 20 and 4 gets into 20 and 2 gets into 20, right? So the LCD is 20, so we're going to make all these denominators to be what? To be 20. So I'll say 1 over 2. To make the 2 to be 20, times by what? 10. Times by 10 at the top, plus, and then 3 over 4. To make it 20, times by what? By 5, times by 5. And then 1 over 5, and then the 5 to make it 20, times by what? By 4, times by 4. I hope that makes sense, guys. And then it's going to be 10 over 20 plus 15 over 20, and then minus 4 over 20 there. Now that our denominators now are what? 20. They're all the same. It's 20. So I'll put 20. I'll just take one there. I'll say 10 plus 15 minus 4. Where is that? That's it there. So we're going to have here 10 plus 15 is 25. 25 minus 4 is 21. 21 over 20. That's the answer there. I hope that makes sense, guys. Cheers, bye.